Well, welcome to Hopeful Tribe, ShervyShae. How you doing?
I am great, Sue. Thank you for having me on your channel today. I'm
Oh,
excited.
I'm so excited to have you. I found ShervyShae on YouTube, and I saw her channel, and she said in her about section that she was a what was it? A personal development junkie
Yes, I
on
am all about personal development.
on a journey to self love. And I said, "Oh, I have to talk to this girl. I have to talk to her." Oh my goodness. So I reached out and here we are.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to your channel. Sue, this is great, to the Hopeful Tribe. I am ShervyShae, and yes, I am a personal development junkie working towards self-love, discovery. I have been through a journey in life, and my life has changed for the better. So I'm still going to continue with this junkiness of being personal, growing. I'm all about that good stuff.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. For a lot of us, um, the journey has to start with some kind of guide, right? So those personal development authors you've been reading, those started you on your path, I imagine.
Yes, it did. Well, it first initially started off through a path of a voice telling me like it was time for me to change in my life. Like I was going through a lot, this depression. I at one point had suicidal thoughts.
Mm.
I hated myself. There was just so much negativity that I surrounded myself with mentally in my mind, which corrupted me as a person. And one day I just got to the bottom rock of my life, where at your very lowest point is where you somewhat think that that's the end of it, but something just brings you up. And throughout that moment, I was brought up, and I started learning how to discover me as a person. How can I heal myself and love myself? Because self love was one of the biggest things that I was missing. I didn't know how to do it, right? And
Mhm.
by getting into personal development, discovering books, it then led me towards a journey of, wow, there's so much wonder. Like in this world that I myself can retain, there's abundance. And just tapping into life itself, what the universe, God, however you want to call it, is, it's there, it's offering you this. Take it with full love. And personal development really got me hooked into finding ways how I can take care of me and love myself, be accepting to who I am, as this body only comes only once, right? So who else can love it for you if you can't? And yeah, that's how my journey began, personal development, reading books.
That's awesome. Do you remember the first self-help book that you bought?
Yes, the first self-help book that I bought actually was You Can Heal Yourself by Louise Hay. However, this book, I picked up this book, but I refused to read that book. I had to collect this for about 5 years I have no idea where I kept it, but it was collecting dust for a very long time. My instincts didn't want to open that book. Something about that book, it was probably a moment where I wasn't ready to explore who I am, but it was that moment where I needed that book, and it will speak to me when it's the right time. But the first actual book that I opened and read was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And that book brought
Oh,
me into an awareness of my body, of my surroundings, of my acknowledging, knowing that I am a being in this place, and tapping into just being in the moment. I didn't know what stillness was. Stillness to me was the first time word that I heard. What is stillness? What is awareness? And he just talked about so many great things on just allowing yourself to just be still, letting go of the worries, the baggages, because we tend to carry a lot of our past, our burdens, and that's what I've carried for such a long time before I started learning how to love myself as a person. But that book showed me the direction on how I can get into, once I tap into me, I accept me who I am. I look in the mirror, I smile, I give gratitude. Gratitude was something I didn't know about. And the power of now really got me into just being in the present moment. And once I got into the personal journey, I read a bunch of other few books, and then You Can Heal My Life by Louise Brown came back into my life. That's when I opened it, and it was just, wow, gold.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. So you had to have Eckhart bring you into now before you could heal your life.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly what he needed. Those were the steps for me to become, loving me for who I am, and
Hmm.
taking care of myself, and not always putting myself in front, well, behind other people, because I was a people pleaser, like I want self-love, okay, but I'm going to give you all the love you can. And if I get a little bit, that's okay. I was just looking at myself small, to be honest,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But with Eckhart Tolle giving me the awareness, being in the present, seeing all the beauty that nature has. Sometimes I just stand still in my present being, and I would look at the clouds or the moon, and I would admire that. That to me is love, because I am connecting my being with the universe. We are surrounded with so much energy, and it's like having that powerful feeling. I don't know how to explain it to you, Sue, but it's that connection where we're all surrounded by the law of attraction, energy. What you feed out is what you get. And once I started feeding out the good started coming back into me. And it started coming back into me with a bigger energy, a bigger sauce, a bigger being, a bigger wanting more.
Hmm.
So, with You Can Heal My Life by Louise Hay, what I love with the affirmations, those affirmations are just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I still like keeping a deck of her cards around and just
Yeah.
picking one every morning. I think it's really helpful. This is my one that's sitting right in front of me today.
Oh,
You
all my relationships are harmonious. That is beautiful. I actually have, I don't have a Louise Hay, but I do also have my affirmation.
oh, which one's yours?
You see, okay, it's amazing what we can do if we simply refuse to give up.
Awesome. Let's get our little affirmation cards.
Yeah, we got a
I,
right in
you
front of
mentioned
our desk.
earlier, I do affirmations on my channel too. Every Saturday, I release a new affirmation, and I've been having a ball with that.
That's amazing.
It only takes like 10, 15 seconds,
Oh
but
wow.
I really enjoy the process of putting that out to Hopeful Tribe and hope that people are getting, some sustenance from it.
Yes, yes, yes. Affirmations are so powerful. Like You Can Heal My Life took me. I can go a little deep into what I needed healing with.
Sure, sure.
Because I'm very open to discuss this story now, and knowing that I've been through it and people can heal. So I was a victim of sexual abuse as
Mm.
a child, um, from a family member, and this went on for many, many years. And I felt like I was to blame throughout all of this. I was a very sensitive child, very secretive. I was afraid to share, afraid, so I was going through this for many years. And then finally I was able to get breakthrough out of it. My mom, she allowed me to go and live with my father in Canada. So I migrated to a new country. I was about 15 years old, and I didn't get any sort of therapy or counseling or anything. Imagine being a little girl who's been sexually abused for many years. You need help. I need help. I need the support. Um, so I didn't get the support, and I was just living a life of wanting love, and I would get it from the wrong sources in life. I
Mm.
wasn't giving myself love. I would go out there and try to get it from different sources, different people, different energy. And as time went by, like I got older, had my kid. I found becoming a parent is where me being a victim really hit me. For some reason, in my teenage years, before I was a parent, it was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, it happened. I didn't
Mhm.
carry it that much. But once I became a mom, it's like this thing just came back on me. Like
Yeah.
it haunted me for so long. And I was able to, I'm so grateful that I was able to tap into books and learn to heal myself. And I'm sharing my story to help other people. For me, in terms of like self love, what it means to me, it's like loving myself for who I am, even within whatever I think isn't perfect, because I am perfect in the eyes of God, the creator. So if God loves me so much, why can I not love me so much, right? And I value my body. I value my temple, and it starts from the inside out, not the outside in. I got to feed myself from the inside in order to direct it to others, right? If I take other people's energy and I'm just feeding it inside, what am I doing for me? Yeah, at times it's good to get influence. But for me, it's good influence you're getting. You decide on if it's a negative influence or a positive influence, but you got to work within you from inside out, right? And
Mhm.
learning to journaling was just, oh my gosh, being able to write my feelings down on a pen and paper and see it, and then it gave some sense of like escape. That was a place for me to escape. And as I wrote and I continue to write, and I'm so glad I kept up with journaling, because that really helped me a lot.
Mhm.
um and from being able to journal, like, I feel a sense of peace from within where I can share my story now. I'm not ashamed. Before, when I didn't have that self-love, I would be so ashamed to share my story. I wouldn't tell anyone. Now I own that with a badge. No matter what life happens, life doesn't happen for you, it happens to you, right? It happens for me to become a better person, or however you want to take it. Like this road that I have walked down, I know that it's brought me out of a dark place and I'm in a bright place, and I love myself with all that's within me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah,
Thank you.
I also had quite a few difficult experiences as a child, and especially in my early adulthood. And I really do feel like those things happened so that I could be of service. I
Yeah.
can see that now, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy because for me, I thought what happened to me, I carried so much shame, guilt, blamed. I looked at myself as a bad person. And I feel like when you victimize yourself, you first you have to let go of being a victim, let go of blaming others, you know be more accepting of the situation and find a way that you can solve the issue, the problem, for you to move on. I know at times it can be easier said than done, but we all have the tools. Each and every one of us have the tool towards becoming a better version of ourselves. It starts with the mind. Like once you can learn to shift your mind and your patterns, the way you think, because we're all emotional beings. We all go based on emotions, right? Our thoughts are running about 65,000 thoughts in a day. That is mind blowing. I read that in a book the other day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine doing 65,000 crunches in a day.
It's good we don't have to do that. No heavy lifting required. Oh man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, once we get into like knowing that as humans, our brains are so malleable that we can change it anytime. It's never too late for us. Never too late. And that's the beauty about a human being. You get to
Mhm.
be a human in this being, in this body, live everything, see what's there. And tapping into your mind, knowing that to change words, because I personally, like I have gone through my journey and I still have bad days. I have days where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling not too good. Like I'm getting the negative thoughts. And once, for me, I've learned that I need to become aware of these thoughts, because if I'm not aware of these thoughts and it becomes an autopilot, I become that constant, like, oh my gosh, angry, like I'm not giving myself love. But once I recognize these thoughts come into my mind and I see it, I acknowledge it, I try to find a solution. Okay, this is how I'm thinking. Let that thought. Okay, thoughts are like clouds. It will come and it passes because we
Right.
only think 65,000 thoughts in a day. So you see that thought. Okay, you acknowledge that thought, and that thought trails and goes away. But if you hold on to that thought, let's say it's a passing
Mhm.
cloud, and you're like, oh, you're with me today. You're going to constantly be thinking of that thought. So if it's a negative thought, it's going to be feeding you with negativity. So learning how to let it go by. We're all humans, we're not perfect, but learning to just be in the moment and fully love you. It's okay if you get a negative thought, let it go. You're still not a bad person. We're all in this together.
Mhm. So what I've heard so far is you did a lot of reading. You learned how to be here now, so that probably includes some meditation, and that also probably helped you to learn how to let go of thoughts
Yep.
that were not useful to you. What are some other things that helped you fall in love with yourself?
I started working out. Um,
Ah,
Yeah, like I started a fitness journey about 4 years ago. This all started around the same time with the reading, the journaling. I discovered this book before I get to what else I do. I want to share this quick story
oh
with
yeah.
I discovered this book called Miracle Morning by Eckhart Harl. And he has these 5 techniques where he talks about to start off right in the morning to have a better, successful life. And he calls it lifesavers. So the savers with the acronyms for savers would be S would be silent. So waking up first of all 5 a.m., 6 a.m. a bit earlier, 1 hour earlier than you usually do to practice this. So savers would be like some sort of meditation, gratitude. You do for about 5 minutes, and then affirmations, practicing the I am beautiful, I am deserving, all the good I am, bringing in the good energy, and you visualize yourself in the life that you want your life to be. So started visualizing, okay, the things that I want to do, this is what I want, this is what I want in my life. So that's already SAV. The E was exercising for about like 5-10 minutes, whatever you can do. Started exercising. The R for reading, and the S, which is scribble, for journaling. So this method is what got me towards my self-love journey because I started practicing this method. I did it for 30 days, which was really hard at the beginning, but I kept up and I saw the huge change that it brought into my life. And it's something that I still do every day. At least I try. There are some days where I'm not able to do all of them in the morning, but I still try to grab out, if it's not reading and writing, there has to be something in my morning that contains that. So exercising is something that I do like every single week. I at least get in three days of workout. Eating,
Hmm.
eating healthy, so I'm very mindful on what I'm eating, feeding myself with the right nutrients, taking my supplements, drinking water, reading a lot of personal development books. I'm also into marketing and business, and because I want to get this into a coaching practicing, where I want to help others towards this journey, making them become a better version of themselves. What else do I do? Yeah, I think those are the things that I do that helps me towards this journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And also being genuine, adding compassion to people, actually, I must say. Sorry to cut you off there. But compassion is something that I practice a lot of. Having a lot of compassion for me and having compassion for others that I meet. I
Hmm.
think giving that love, that compassion, that empathy, it's okay. Being vulnerable is actually a good thing, you know, because once you're vulnerable, it's like, for me, I feel like I don't have any chains that I'm holding on to and protecting myself from. I let myself out so that you can see me as who I am as a person. I don't have to pretend to be anyone for you, you know?
Hmm.
So being able to do that, oh my gosh, it's good love.
Yeah. Well, I found that once I started loving myself more, I just naturally had more compassion for others. You
Yes.
know, it just kind of went together. It all happened at the same time.
Yeah, it did. And I learned to let go. So last year I made a vow that, okay, Siobhan, you're on this journey. From now on, you're going to let go. That's something that you are not going to do. Any negative thoughts, any things that's trying to hold you back, or any shift in that is not good energy, you got to let go. And I actually got a tattoo that said, let go.
How fun. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So I look at it and I'm like,
So
okay, we
cool.
gotta let go. We gotta let
You'll
go of that
never
thought.
forget now.
It ain't worth your energy. Let go of it. Only
Yeah,
good energy allowed in this space.
yeah, yeah. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was also thinking that when you were talking about the journaling and the affirmations, that one of the things that both of those practices has have done for me is they've helped me change my self-talk.
Yeah.
So one of the freeing things about journaling is that no one else is reading that,
Yep.
right? So I'll just start writing every morning and amazing things come up, right?
Wow.
And it really has helped me over the years to catch myself when I'm starting to slip as far as my self-talk is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can just pull it back,
Yeah.
right there in the moment.
Yeah, it's so true. Like journaling is such a powerful tool. And I feel like if you can give yourself a try to do that, because it's you and your thoughts just writing down every single thing that comes to mind with no judgment, no shame, no blame. You are just pouring out your emotions on a pen and paper. It's quite interesting, where I have friends of mine where I'm like, I talk about journaling and they're like, oh, I can't even write. I don't understand how some people cannot write in the form of like pen and paper. I don't understand it, but for me, just giving myself like 5 minutes of stillness, it's such a good feeling.
Hmm.
I want you to just trust yourself to do this. Just sit down and write whatever comes to mind.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's really helpful on a lot of levels. I think journaling has been a really important part of my process since I was 9 years old.
Wow, you've been journaling for that long. That's amazing, Sue.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. My mom had an intuition, I think, because she gave me my first journal, um,
Wow.
and I just uh, dove right in. And there have been times in my life when I haven't written in a journal daily, and usually that's an indicator that I'm trying to hide something from myself.
Yeah. I feel like days when I don't journal, that's when my ants, I want to call it. I learned this from a book, Limitless by Jim Quick. Ants mean
Ah, nice.
automatic negative thoughts syndrome. And
Uh-huh.
so when my ants pop in my head, it's going on a rampage. I think to myself, wait, Siobhan, you haven't journaled for like 2, 3 days, girl. You need to get back on that, like now.
Right.
Like
Right.
my mood is so different.
Well, a practice I started, I don't know how many years ago, is that at the very top of my journal, I actually write my morning routine, right?
Okay.
Now, it's not that I actually forget every day what my morning routine is, but being confronted with it every morning makes sure that I'm going to get through all those steps every morning
Yes. Yeah.
because it's right there.
No, it's nice. It's like a checklist. It's so nice when you can check things off. I think it's the way how our brains work. Well, at least for
Yeah.
me. When I write something and then I check it off, it's like, ooh, it's like celebrated. I did it. Yay. So
That's so funny that you say that because I used to print out my to-do lists every day for my personal life and for Hopeful Tribe. But
Mhm.
recently I started just leaving them online, but converting them to those little check boxes so I can check them off as I go.
Yeah,
And I find it really satisfying checking them off.
it is a good feeling. Like we were conditioned on reward. Like And that's how the brain
Right.
works, right? Like when you get a reward, like you check something off, you're celebrating the adrenaline that's like rushing through. It's so good. So yeah, girl, you better have your checklist on that journal. If every day you're getting
Mhm.
adrenaline rush, I'm all for it.
Yeah, the other thing I always put at the top of every journal now are my annual goals, because that way, so I see my morning routine, and then right under that are my annual goals. So every morning I'm being reminded what my purpose for this year is.
I feel that. I
Hmm.
literally just felt that in my heart. That is, it's
Hmm.
so important for us to set goals that, like having that blueprint and that roadmap to know which direction you are
Hmm.
going to helps you. It's like you can't like just pack up and go, say you're going to, like, let's say you live in Canada and you go into Florida without a map. You need a map, right?
I think especially once you become a mother,
Yeah.
like time goes so fast because caring for children takes up so much time.
Yes.
So your time gets condensed. And
Yes.
so if you're not very um, attentive to your goals, they'll just never get done.
They would not get done because our brain doesn't, in order for our brain to retain something, we have to do it on a repeat, right?
Hmm.
So if it is that we write down our goals and then we just say, okay, I'll see you in like 6 months, don't look at it, what's your life going to be like in 6 months? It's not going to be any different because
Right.
those goals. But every morning you're waking up and you're like, okay, like you reaffirm that. That is what I personally believe will get you from one place to the next, because you are creating a retainment of memory in your brain that is like activating and say, yeah, girl, we got to get at this. We got to get at this. Let's go and do what we got to do
Mhm.
to get at this.
Yeah, and then if I'm going through a bad moment, I can open that up and look at my goals and say, okay, where am I at right now? And
Yes.
acknowledge my achievements,
Yes.
because it's really easy to pull out of a funk if I
Yeah.
take a minute to recognize what I've achieved.
Yeah, you are measuring your progress, right?
Hmm.
Like, you got to measure, how did I do good this week? Did I do poorly this week? Like, measuring your progress is definitely key towards a long-term goal. And that's something
Hmm.
that me as a person, like I'm working with, it's like the daily reminder of, okay, you got your goals. I have my goals written down. How am I going to get there? What steps? And how did I do last week? How did I do this week? I love starting the beginning of every single month. I have this journal where I get to reassess what I did the last month and what I did well and what didn't go well and what I
Oh,
would like
nice.
this month. Yeah, it's a pretty cool journal, and that helps me a lot stay towards my goal. Goal journey, writing down is it's so powerful. Not a lot of us know about it. For me, it's something that I discovered all of this in my self-love healing journey of journaling and writing down goals and stuff like that. So yeah, that's also a part of self-love because you're doing something that's contributing for your being, for service.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
for me too, part of learning to love myself was actually recognizing my accomplishments and, um, you know, celebrating them.
Yeah, you are
Because,
celebrating the small wins.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the
like
small
you're
ones, the big ones, all of them,
everyone.
because it's really not easy just getting through life.
No, no, not at all. And what I have learned that it's better to celebrate the small goals instead of the big ones because it's the small ones that makes it piles up and becomes, this big grand thing. So if you cannot celebrate your small wins, you will not get to that big one. Like it's
Hmm.
so important in this step. Like this, like I've learned that, and I was like, wow, that is so true. You can't just give someone an elephant and they eat it in one shot. You gotta bite it one bite at a time, like don't take me like a whole year to eat a whole elephant.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did you have any particular models in your life for being more loving with yourself?
Yes, I like to buy myself flowers every 7 days to 14 days or so. I buy myself flowers, fresh cut flowers to be specific. And that, for me, I realize that I cannot allow, you know, how come certain days you want your significant other to buy you flowers, right?
Mhm.
Um, and I had this aha moment where it was like, it was around Valentine's Day. Why do I have to wait for my significant other to buy me flowers if I can buy myself flowers? Like, like, girl, you gotta love yourself first, give yourself them flowers. So I started buying myself flowers as of February of this year. And that has really helped me a lot. I do a lot of writing sticky notes down with affirmations. So I'm reminded
Uh-huh.
um, by certain things. Like I have an affirmation where it says, "I am patient. I am committed. I have faith," and I try to remind myself of that. So throughout the journey, I have to be patient. I have to be committed, and I have to have that faith. Um, that's the method that I use working out, waking up early in the morning. I have to wake up early in the morning to get my me time. I need to meditate. Like right now, I am on a 21-day meditating program on Audible, and it's so good. It's about 10 minutes a day, and just learning how to breathe in and breathe out. Like breaths are so important. I allow myself to self-regulate quite often. So taking those breaths in, breaths out, like when I feel anxious, like I was a little anxious, to be honest, when I was coming on this interview with you. I was like, okay, Siobhan, you got to get your breaths. You got to self-regulate. Talk to yourself. You got this, okay? Breathe out.
Yeah, breathing is very important. Yeah, like meditation is part of my morning routine too. I find it really important at the beginning of the day. And I used to think I was an early riser because got up at 5 every morning. But since I started Hopeful Tribe, I've been getting up at like 4.
Oh wow. I get up at 4:30.
Okay, so you're
I'm
getting up pretty
four
early
thirty to
too.
5.
But it's not even a choice. Like I would rather sleep till 5 or 6, but my body just wakes me up.
You know why? Because
Excited to work.
your body knows that you're on a mission and it's excited to get there. That's why it's waking up at 4:30. Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm.
it's like, think of it, if you're going on a trip, you're going to be so excited that you don't sleep that night, right? Your body is so excited that it doesn't want to sleep. And I think that's the same thing with you and your channel. You see the service and value you're adding to others. You're helping people with this channel, which is amazing. So your body is like, we got more people to
Let's
serve. Let's get it.
go.
5 a.m., girl. 4:30 it is. All 4.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I finally gotten it to not wake me up at 3 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, 3 in the morning. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Woo!
I was like, oh, come on. That means I can't have any kind of social life if I'm getting up at 3 in the morning. I can't ever hang out with my friends.
That's what I'm like, in deep sleep at 3. I'm starting to get my dreams at 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
no, it was too early. It was too early. But that's how it was at the beginning, and I finally got it to push back a little bit.
Okay. So you're
But
4.
yeah,
That's
now it's 4 o'clock.
great. That's
I can
great.
deal with that.
So what do you do in the morning? What is your morning ritual?
So I get up in the morning and I pray. That's the first thing I do. It can be as simple at the beginning as just thank you. That's my first prayer. And then I do some meditation. And when I get into the shower, it turns into a musical meditation. So I usually turn on some of my favorite gospel music while I'm showering and just get totally immersed in the water and in the spirit of love. And that's how I start my day. And
Wow.
then when I come back to my room after I do my, lotion and all that stuff,
Yeah.
then the music continues and I do a longer prayer and meditation session. And then after I do that, then I sit down and I look at my the first page of my journal, which shows my morning routine and my goals, and I open up. I have like a virtual what do you call it? Vision board. That's what you
Okay.
call it. So I have a virtual vision board that I open up. I have a 2 screen setup. So I have my journal open on one that has my goals, and then I have my virtual vision board open on the other one. And I'll scroll it, like I'll play it like a slideshow while I'm reviewing my goals.
That's nice.
And then what do I do? Oh, and then after I journal, because that's the next step, I gotta get in there and journal. I actually get up and I do yoga.
Mm.
And then after yoga, then I do my morning happy dance.
Oh my goodness. You're gonna have to tell me about that dance. Like
It's
how?
so much fun. And my little dog that you've met, Esmeralda,
Yes.
she stays in bed under the covers until I start happy dancing.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Then
Oh
she comes out and she starts
no!
dancing.
Oh my
It's
Jesus!
so
That
cute.
is so precious.
Oh my God. Anyway, oh, here she is. Yes. Isn't she great? Oh my God. She cracks me up.
She's
Yeah.
in the morning. Oh man!
Yeah.
Wow.
But she just wakes up like that. She doesn't need to work up to it. Yeah.
Wow. She literally gets off out of the bed covers and then does the dance with you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have to try that morning happy dance. I'm going to implement that. I like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I like it a lot.
Oh my,
It's evolved over the years. I started with a much smaller morning routine and it just keeps growing. And one of the reasons why I finally uh, got committed to staying self-employed is that I noticed that I really can't stay true to my morning routine if I'm not self-employed.
wow.
It's just too hard if I have a full-time other employer kind of job.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's self love right there. Happy dance. I actually did that a few times when I think about it. In the morning, I have gotten up and have danced,
Yeah.
because Tony Robbins had mentioned before you start, like, your morning or you're doing anything, you get up and you dance. So I was like, oh, I'm going to try that Tony Robbins thing. And it's actually, now that I recall, it did boost my energy. Like it did boost my positive happiness. So I'm going to definitely have to write that down. The morning
Yeah.
dance. That's
It's
now
really
in
fun.
my ritual.
Yeah, and if you start doing it, it's very self-reinforcing. You'll want to keep doing it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I forgot to add to one thing that I have started implementing. For me, drinking water was one of the hardest things to do.
Ah,
Oh yeah. So I learned this in my coaching class that I am enrolled in, where before you go to bed, drink some water, have a glass of water, and first thing in the morning when you wake up, drink water. And I have been drinking water consistently now for the past 3 months, and I am so proud of myself. I am celebrating this win where I do it before and I carry on a water bottle. And to me, that's like a reward of like, wow, Siobhan, you're taking care of yourself by drinking water because for me, it was just one of the hardest thing to do.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah, seriously. I feel like all of our self-care practices are evidence of our self-love, and the more that we care for ourselves, the easier it gets, you
Yes.
know?
Yes. Yes. It does become easier and you start to feel great and you feel like you can take on the world. It's such a good feeling, to be honest. I'm so happy that I discovered this path towards, learning and growth. And it's a continuous thing that I know that I will be doing throughout this journey because
hmm
we all have to become student of life throughout this life. We're always learning and finding new ways and adapt. And so for me, by continuing this journey, I feel like there's so much more love that I'm going to be receiving from the universe, and I'm going to be giving myself and being filled up with. And I just want to be a big ball of happiness for the rest of my life.
That sounds like a great life goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, if you could achieve that, you wouldn't need any other goals.
I wouldn't need any of that. And it starts with me doing that.
Right?
Do it for me. I said, in order for me to attain that, it starts with me doing that, giving myself that. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Be a big ball of happiness.
A big ball of happiness. Oh, rounded, and it's fluffy too. Oh my God. Like a big beer.
I was just thinking about this focus wheel I did about self-care. Let me see if I can find it. Did you read that Ask and It Is Given yet?
Yes, I did. I started, but then I got distracted by this book here.
Oh, The Secret.
Yes. Yes.
The Secret's great.
Yeah. And I started reading it, and I'm like, oh, it's a quick read. So I feel like once I finish this, I will go to Ask and It's Given. It's a bigger read.
It is. However, it's one of those things. It's more like a reference book.
Yeah.
Than a like read all the way through book, because it has those 22 processes.
Yeah.
So what I'm sharing with you, can you see it?
Yes, I can.
This is the focus wheel process.
Oh.
And, when I find it most useful is when I'm feeling like I'm kind of stuck in some area of my life.
Wow.
So this was created at a time when I was feeling kind of stuck in bad self-care, because it's easy for me to relapse into only prioritizing other people's care.
Yeah.
So I took this piece of paper out and I drew my circles, and in the center I wrote basically where I wanted to end up, which was I take exquisite care of myself. And then you just wait a while, and you wait for the willingness to fill the rest of the stuff in, right?
Oh, wow.
You don't want to force yourself into a better place, because that never works, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the first one I started with was I do my best to sleep well, right? I could go with that. Okay, I can try to sleep better.
Yeah.
And then I said I fuel my body with high quality, low carb, nutrient dense food.
Wow.
Because for me, I've been keto for the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
And that's really important. I actually healed my high blood pressure and my high cholesterol and my type 2 diabetes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing, Sue.
Thank you.
Wow.
So I'm going to keep going with that. And I just went on around the focus wheel until I really felt like, I can do this. I can absolutely prioritize my self-care again.
I think that is so beautiful, Sue. Like, you are like giving me tips. I should just start writing things down. I need to add to my self-love journey that happy morning dance, because it's just like Pharrell Williams said, I'm happy. That's going to be my song. And this like focus circle. This is like, I'm writing it down. You see, we can always learn from someone. And this is what I like about life. It's like, whatever you give, it's like a give and receive, Yeah.
We're just always, if we stay open,
yes, we got to be open.
The guidance we need.
Yes. So it's right here. Next time we talk, you'll ask me how I don't think you can see it, but I have it written down, I promise. You'll be like, oh, how was the happy dance?
Exactly, exactly. And I don't remember where I got that practice from, but it could have been from a friend of mine, you
Wow.
know, because
Wow.
it's such an old practice.
Yeah.
It might have been from one of my friends who told me about it. It's just really, it's really important to stay open. That's part of what I pray in the morning
Yeah.
is uh, you know, that I stay in alignment with my creator
Hmm.
so that I go where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah. It's so important to be in a line and open to the uncertainty. And see it. I see things as a blessing in disguise. That's how I try to look at it. It's like when they say it's the cup half empty or cup half full. Which one do you see? For me, when something happens, I'm like, this is a blessing in disguise. This is trying to teach me something towards my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I have shifted into telling myself when things happen, this is teaching me something, and it always does. For some reason.
Well, one of the things that I found really interesting now that, you know, COVID is becoming less of a concern
Hmm.
is I've been asking everybody when I first talked to them, "Mm, how was the pandemic for you?" And most people have amazing stories of how it actually improved their lives.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, isn't that how it is? Like, even as something that looked so scary at the beginning
Yeah.
ended up being a blessing.
It
So,
was 100% a blessing in disguise for me. COVID was the time where the light bulb just got a little brighter, and I was like, wow, so I live in this little box. Right.
that's funny.
Yeah. How do I care for myself and grow? Like, it's either I choose I complain or I try to take this as an opportunity. And I started taking it into an opportunity. I started investing in me, registering for programs and learning. And 2020 was a blessing in disguise for me. I know other people have other stories, but I chose to look at it like Viktor Frankl. I don't know if you've heard about the man's search for meaning. It's how
Mhm.
I'm going to allow my environment to control me, or am I going to be the one to control whatever my environment is happening? I get to choose how I want to feed it, bad or good. I choose good because bad, man, it makes you age faster. I don't want to age faster, okay?
It's happening fast enough.
Yeah, nobody got time to age faster here. Let's just invite the good, and like life's it's gonna be okay because, like I said, life doesn't happen. Life happens to teach us something. It does.
Yeah, and they've studied that people who believe that they can actually control what happens in their lives are much happier.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's true. Yep, it does. It happens for us to teach us something. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Okay,
Mhm.
what can I learn from this? I
Mhm.
have learned so much. I've learned to like just be myself. Be you. Like people were we just well for me we all want to be in an acceptance of everyone, right? But if I can't accept myself, how can I be true
Right?
to you? you
Mhm.
know yeah, so I gotta accept me first, Sue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said earlier, the accepting other people just naturally follows from that.
Yes, it
You know,
does. It does.
whenever somebody's mean to me, which doesn't happen that often anymore, but it'll happen randomly.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
will say something
We
rude
still
or
got trolls out there. People be
yeah,
trolling.
disrespectful or whatever.
Yeah,
I'll think,
we just we just
I'll
need to
think,
give them a big
oh,
ball of hug, happiness.
right. I'll think, oh, that poor person must really hate themselves,
Yeah,
to be able
do.
to be so unkind, you know?
Yeah, yeah, they really do. They need a big hug. That's
Yeah.
what they do. Like they seriously do because I know what it's like. Like when you're in a negative environment, you surround your energy with negativity, your mind, you're going to give negativity. You're going to look at you mirror how you feel or you are as a person. So if I'm commenting negative things about you, like I'm seeing myself as a negative person.
Shervy, where did you grow up before you came to Canada?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, so did you get Care Bears when you were growing up? Did you see that cartoon?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
The pink, the blue, and the orange. Oh my gosh! Yes, I
So,
love
I used
and the cloud.
yeah, I used to work with homeless youth, and they used to say I was like those Care Bears when they would do the Care Bear stare, right? And they would just be radiating love, you know.
Yes, yes.
From their
Oh
little,
my gosh, I can picture them right now. There was a pink,
uh-huh.
purple, a blue. Was there orange?
All my favorite colors.
The color of the rainbow. Wow, Care Bear
Yeah,
was
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
very,
Care
yeah,
Bears.
back in the days. Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I might have to insert some Care Bear footage here.
Look, here it comes. Care Bear countdown.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It isn't working.
The cloud of uncaring is growing.
No heart was right. Even our combined caring isn't enough.
Ready, Dale? You bet, Wish Bear. I care, I care, I care, I care, I care, I care.
It worked! Hooray! It worked! What? No! Not again!
Making a friend is very simple.
Being a friend is easy too.
Oh, there's nothing like a friendly smile.
I think we're gonna have to give some care, love, sharing the love. The world needs it more than ever, and yeah, just allowing yourself to. I feel like it's acceptance. There are three things I feel like we need. We need to become aware, have that acceptance, and then take action to change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And understand that it takes time, that it's a journey. If you are starting from a place of not loving yourself very much, that it's going to take a while
Oh
to
yeah.
get to full self-love. It's going to take a while. And it's okay to be patient with yourself.
Yeah, you have to be patient. It does take a while, and it's like I said, it's like we're students for life, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't end. Self-love doesn't end because there's something more that you can always do for yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
it's upkeep. It's like sharpening the saw. You got to keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Some methods may become too old where you will need to implement new ones, right? Like my happy dance is the one I'm going to be implementing. So you got to keep updated. It's like an iPhone iOS, like
Right.
you got to
Right.
update the software.
I know, here I am, like I'm way older than you, and I thought I was pretty far along in my journey, but during COVID, I was in a job that was very fulfilling, but was requiring way more than a human should actually do in a day. So it was very demanding, and at first I was there because I needed to be financially. And then I kept staying for other reasons. And I realized towards the end that I didn't have to stay for those other reasons, that it was okay for me to just take care of myself and walk away.
Yeah.
And it took, I think, a whole 2 weeks after I left for my blood pressure to return to normal because it was a very stressful environment. And I came to the realization that no matter how much work I do on myself, it's really easy for me to betray myself.
Yeah.
And so I made a promise to myself right then that I would never betray myself like that again.
No.
And it was really important. It was really important in my journey to recognize that I could still betray myself in really serious ways
Yeah. Yeah.
and make a commitment to stop, you know?
Yeah. There you demonstrated the being aware and acknowledging, and you take the action. So I think that's what the journey is, right? It's like a three
Mm-hmm.
simple rule. You got to acknowledge. It's okay. Be aware first of the problem. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know how you feel, and at times we don't tap into our feelings a lot. It's all based on emotions, okay? Like, how do I feel? So I've learned something as of recent, because I'm learning how to like regulate, self-regulate, even my emotions, and don't allow myself to hold on to emotions for too long, whether good or bad. So if I feel myself in a situation where I am tense, because if I allow my tenseness to just continue and I'm not trying to figure out the problem and I'm going to be tense all day, walking around all tense, I try to become aware. Okay, Siobhan, how am I feeling right now? Then I get to physically get to feel how I'm feeling. And I'm like, oh, I'm feeling tense. But it's our thoughts that creates the feeling. This is what I
Mm-hmm.
learned. So we can't really tap in much like we tap into our thoughts. Not that I say we can, we tap into our thoughts because if I'm feeling angry, I'm going to be thinking I'm angry, but I'm not attaching my angry thoughts to my feelings. So I figure, okay, how am I feeling? I'm feeling tense. Oh my gosh. I say the name, I'm feeling tense. Why am I feeling tense? And I acknowledge, okay, I see I'm feeling tense. And then I'm able to let go and take action towards something else. So because we're so emotional human beings, we got to really tap into our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's your thoughts that create the feeling. Yeah.
You're so fun.
Oh, thank you, Sue. You're awesome. I enjoyed this conversation.
I think we should just have our own talk show.
I think so. Like, I think so. We will be called the Care Bears.
The Care Bears. Shervy and Sue, the Care Bears.
Yeah.
So
Like we are saving the world one soul at a time,
right, right.
to help
I just,
someone.
yeah. To me, it's like so fulfilling to be able to help so many people.
Yeah.
Because, my whole life I've worked in kind of helping professions, but to be able to tap into this platform that serves 2 billion people
Yeah.
is pretty mind blowing.
It is very mind blowing for sure, and being able to do it virtually, like from a screen of a computer, we can help one
Right?
another. I think we're in definitely some good times in this world. Like I'm so grateful to be alive in this moment of life where, we're going through these things, and this is a perfect time. Like my grandmom days did not have these things, or my great grandmother, like my ancestors didn't. So I'm
Mm-mm.
forever grateful and just want to hold that torch and serve and help others to know that it's okay. You know what? We are not perfect. We all go through our own journey. Everyone does. And we can love and heal ourselves from within. It takes time, but you just got to trust the process because it's a beautiful journey. Believe me, it is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. you know yeah, I've become selfish in this process, I must say. I like to indulge myself a lot in nature. I bought myself a hammock where I go out and I
Oh, I love
hammock,
it.
like I'm doing a lot of things for me and it feels
I'm
so
going to
good.
write that down.
Yeah, the hammock, it's like
I
the best.
suddenly need one.
Trust me, just when you need to get out and clear your mind, you go and you just go on that hammock. Like for me, it's, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I also found through that in this journey, I am so much connected to nature. It is so strange, but I see so much beauty in nature. I admire it.
Actually, it's not strange.
It's hugging trees strange.
we no, we are very connected to nature, and nature's very connected to us. What's strange is what's developed over the last few hundred years, where people feel disconnected from nature. That's what's strange. You
Wow.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. When you say that, for sure. Yeah. So it's just beautiful. Like
Yeah, hug a tree.
pardon me?
I said yes, hug a tree.
I
It's
hug
not
trees.
strange.
I talk to plants. Like I'll be walking out and like, let's say if I saw this pretty plant, like this tree with beautiful flowers. And I was like, I really wanted it so badly. I actually spoke to it. This is going to sound a little woo-woo. I'm not crazy. I'm just saying what I did. But it was so beautiful and I wanted to take it home, like a branch off. So I actually spoke to the tree. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm cutting you. You know, you look so beautiful. And I just want to take you home so I can admire you. Is it okay? And, you know, I literally felt that hurt in me when I was breaking it, but I'm like, I'm so sorry, you know. It was just,
I'm sure it was fine.
I think it was fine. It told me it was okay. It said that there's abundance, so it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I talk to my plants every day. I don't think it's strange at all. I really don't. I have these Gerbera daisies on my porch, and I just think they're so pretty. And so I talk to them every morning. And then recently, some strawberries and some tea roses have come back to life on my porch. And so I talk to them too.
Oh, that's beautiful. I must say I have some plans, but I need to become a better plant mom with my plants. I think talking to them would be a good idea. You know, I got one. I picked up one 2 days ago from Walmart. A snake plant. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna talk to it a lot. I almost killed my spider plant over the weekend because I didn't give it water for many, gosh knows weeks. I'm terrible. All the people that love plants, I am working on my mom plant loving, but I gave it some water and it's beautiful. It's like glycerin. The leaves.
Oh,
I told myself,
they're very forgiving, spider plants.
he forgave me. He bounced back like nobody's business
Mhm.
because he was looking really sad. So I think I need what I need to do. I got this app to teach me how to like water them, and you know,
Oh, how nice. Of course, there's an app for that.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna start talking to my plants soon.
Do it. Do
Yeah.
it. They like it. They like music too. And what I've done to make sure that my plants always get taken care of is that during my morning routine, I go out and get coffee before I start journaling in my kitchen. I get my coffee, and also my I do lemon and ACV water. Do you put lemon and ACV in your water in the morning?
No, no.
Very good for you. It's alkaline. So try
Okay.
that.
So lemon and ACV.
Yeah, apple cider vinegar.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, very good for your health. Anyway, so I get my ACV and lemon water and my coffee, and while I'm out there, I water and talk to my plants.
Do you water every day?
Well, the ones who need to be watered.
Okay.
Some
Okay.
of them do, some of them don't.
Okay.
I have a
That's
lot of food plants, which tend to be very thirsty.
okay. Okay. Wow. I have a sunflower plant. Like I'm really learning about them. Like they're all so different.
Mhm.
It's like wow. Each and every one of you have a different attitude. Like you need to,
Right?
you know. Like how can I keep up with you? You know. So I'm trying to figure them out.
Yeah. I actually have a gardening journal too. And each page is about a different plant that I grow. So when I learn something new about that plant, then I'll write it in the gardening journal.
Oh, that's nice. I have definitely learned from the ones that I have killed.
You plant murderer, you.
I did. Like, I feel awful. You have no idea because I have killed some really nice ones, but I try to buy them back. So if a plant were to rest in peace, I try to buy back that same plant so I can learn about it more.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a journey. It's a journey like everything else.
Yes.
It's not for most people an intuitive process.
No,
You know?
no, it's not. It's not at all. But I'm back on the plants game. Lately I've been getting some new plants and I'm figuring it out. I find for me, I really like the English ivy one, but I have murdered them like 2, 3 times. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I've had plenty of English ivy, but
Yeah.
I didn't have a hard time. But like I said, mostly since the pandemic, I've focused on food plants.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So right now I have spinach, kale, beets, carrots, and then all the herbs. I have oregano, cilantro, um, all
That's
the herbs.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah. For me, I have some I need to protect my backyard garden. I have like squirrels and chipmunks.
Ah,
They're a little feisty things, so having a food tree, like a food plant, you're going to definitely have a feast.
yeah.
So, yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
like protect it when I plant something like that. I put out a sunflower plant the other day, and a squirrel came and bit the flower off.
Oh,
Yeah.
because they're delicious. That's why. Let's say of all your practices, if you only had time for one of your self-love practices every morning, which one would you pick?
Oh my gosh, that is a hard one, Sue. It would be journaling.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I get to connect with my thoughts and write it down on pen and paper, and that just helps me feel better when I journal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I get to reread it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yep. And yourself?
Oh, I would pick the happy dance.
Oh, the happy. I gotta get on that happy dance.
Because I just want to be a big ball of love, like you said.
Yeah. The happy dance. Wow.
That's my big
That's
goal.
amazing. Yeah.
That's my before I die goal. I just want to be a big ball of love.
A big ball of love. I want to be a big ball of happiness.
Yeah.
That happy dance. Yeah, but journaling, like, it just does, because I'm such an emotional being that when I'm journaling, I'm also silencing my mind. So I'm in stillness too. So it's almost like a part of meditation.
It is.
Yeah. So I need that. For me, I need to like get that focus. Okay, well, what are we doing? How are you feeling this morning? What's going on? What can we talk about right now? Yeah, what are you grateful for? And I find being even if it were to just write down like 3 things of gratitude in the morning, like that just brightens me up already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on Hopeful Tribe. You are awesome.
Thank you so much, Sue, for having me. I enjoyed this conversation.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll have our own show.
Yeah, we'll have the Care Bear show. We'll be giving Care Bear hugs, a big ball of happiness and love to all of y'all out there. So y'all keep your eyes out on this show.
Right? You heard it here first, okay?
Yes, definitely. I truly appreciated this. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. It's nice meeting like-minded people in this YouTube journey, working towards one journey at a time towards making someone become a better version of themselves. So thank you so much, Sue.